Hey high levelers, Rayo Daniel here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT and Highlevel to create an automated ChatGPT bot in about 5 minutes. Now, if you stick around to the end of this video, I'm actually going to give you some additional bonuses. It's going to show you how to create a multifunction GPT bot. I'm going to show you how to do that and go over all of that if you stick to the very end of this particular video. But before we get started, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please click on the subscribe link below. I always appreciate your support. And as always, if you have not signed up for Highlevel, if you're looking to sign up or looking to go to the Agency Pro plan, please use my affiliate link in the description below. I do get credit for it, and I want to thank you so much in advance. Hey, real quick, before we get into the ChatGPT video, I want to let you know, in order to utilize this new workflow feature for ChatGPT, you need to go enable the workflow AI setting inside of your agency. So quite easily, go to your agency setting, then go to settings, then go into your company area, and on the right-hand side, if you scroll down, you'll see a workflow AI area that you can actually have a slider and move it over and enable it. Once it's enabled, all of your sub-accounts will then be able to see ChatGPT. Until then, that workflow action item will not be available. Great, let's get into the video. Alrighty, so here we are inside of Highlevel and one of our demo accounts. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the ChatGPT bot that I created, the simple version, and then after I go through all the examples, kind of show you how that works back and forth, some of the different things that I've done to change the output, and how to fine tune that. And then I'm going to go over the chat multibot that I created. It might take you 15 minutes to get it set up here, but not that long at all. It is going to be worth hanging into the end of the video to watch it because it will help you automate all of your channels inside of Highlevel. So let's hop into the automation area. And I've got these folder created called automation workflows that I've got it. And you've got a chat GPT bot simple. And this is the one that we're going to be working with. Now, we've just got a couple of steps in here, and I'm going to talk about each one of these steps and why you need them. So first of all, we need to put a trigger, something that's going to make the workflow start. And this is going to be typically just a customer replied trigger. And then we're going to just choose the reply channel of SMS. Now we could choose any of these reply channels here. Forgive me, let me move over here. We could choose any of these reply channels here. Inside of the workflow, we're just going to choose SMS just for simplicity in this example. Now, one of the things here is this assign to user. Now, inside of workflows, typically you want ChatGPT to know who is the person that the customer, the potential person texting you is going to be talking to. Now, you could hard code somebody's name in here if you want to. Another way to do it is to put an assign to user function here, assign to user, and just select somebody in your company of which is going to be the point person for the communication for this, or at least use their name. And I'll show you where we use this at here in just a minute. Now, this chat GPT action, if you click on this little button, notice that here over on the side, we have under workflow AI, this new chat GPT. This is the core of the bot, if that makes sense. This is the interaction between chat GPT and Highlevel. Typically, this was not available before except through Zapier. And then you have to kind of do some workarounds with Zapier, but because ChatGPT interface is now created directly inside of the workflow, you do not need to use an external service like Zapier to get responses back and forth from into Highlevel. That was a little bit more cumbersome. There are some systems out there you could still do it if you want to, but there's no reason to since ChatGPT is configured inside of Highlevel now. I will sit back and put some words of caution on this, not so much caution, but just to let you know that there is an expense for using ChatGPT. Every time you use it, there is some cost associated with that. And I'm not going to go over the cost in this, but it's small and minimal, but there is an additional cost. You can include that in your service package to your client, or you can just charge the client directly, however you want to set that up. But that is something that you're going to have to decide upon and get figured out before you implement this for your client. So I just wanted to let you know. So right now I'm not going to be doing any of that. I'm going to hop into this chatbot. Now here we see that we just simply have an action name, give it a name, whatever you want to call the step. That's the thing that shows up here in the workflow. Here the prompt is the core. This is the most important thing associated with the ChatGPT bot, because the prompt is actually what is going to tell ChatGPT what and how to respond and in what way to respond to the person contacting you. So Now, I'm going to show you some back and forth communications that I've had and some of the things that I've changed in the prompt, and that's going to show you how the response from ChatGPT has responded, and I'm going to show you that sort of in a long series of texts that I've been sort of going through to fine-tune this for you. So right now, I'm just going to sit back and just blow this up. By all means, if you want to, copy this, steal it from me, however you want to do it, but one of the things that's important when it comes to ChatGPT is to give it as much information. You have to give ChatGPT a context. You kind of have to give it a tone of how should you reply back to the person. You need to give it enough information so that it can include in the replies to make it seem more legitimate. So let's take a look at what I've set up here. And by all means, this is not the ultimate best prompt to use for this. Really, when it comes to prompts, you will need to practice. You will need to create a prompt specific for your particular client or your niche or your particular purpose of what you're trying to do, because each different, a roofing company may be different than a chiropractor, may be different from a plumber, or maybe different from a medical spa or something like that. So either way, you need to customize it specifically for that particular company or that client. Well, if you have a baseline prompt and you could just simply go in and change the company name, change a few things and make it work, great. But what you really need to do is once you get this thing fine-tuned, to go back and forth yourself, practice, and make sure you like the responses that you're getting, because these are the responses that in a sense are going to be automated to the people contacting you. So please practice before this thing goes live. Now, so right now, if you take a look here, this is where I'm putting user.name. Now, let me kind of say this. You could put a hardcore name here if you wanted to. You could say, my name is Rebecca, or my name is Jane, whatever you want to call yourself. You can hard code a name in here if you like. Now, if you want to use the user.name function, that name will be blank unless you have the assign to user function that we've already talked about earlier. If you don't have the assign to user function, then this username, user.name, will be blank. Just to give you a heads up for this. So it's up to you on how you want to do this. I'm just trying to give it to you both ways. So here my name is user.name, and this user, just to let you know, his name is John Smith. I know, very original, but that's what we're going to be using. So my name is John Smith. My company name is Digi Global Agency. Customers contact us to get information regarding our digital marketing services like website design and custom automations. Again, I'm setting the context for ChatGPT to let it know, number one, what my name is, what the company name is, and what we do. So now it kind of gets a sense of what it is, so it can build more customized responses to the customer. Now, I say here, generate a friendly and professional response to the potential customer named contact.firstname. Now, here is something very important as well. Now, because we're dealing with SMS, if somebody just sends a text message directly to your company, that person will not have a name inside of the CRM system. Please remember, if somebody texts you directly, your company phone number, all they'll have is the phone number. That's the only information that'll be in the contact record. There will be no first name, there will be no last name. So be cautious of this if you're doing this, that the SMS user will have to be defined with the name, first name and last name in your CRM before a proper response to this contact.firstname can be given. Now, if somebody comes across with Facebook, you will have the first name and last name. If it's Instagram, you'll have the first name and last name. Google My Business, you will have it. If it comes across the website chat widget, you will have it. So all of that information, you will have their name, but just SMS for this example is just one of those things where if you don't have the person already configured in your system, which for this example I do, I have put a first name and last name in the communication so it can personalize it. But if not, you will have a blank name. Just want to make sure that you understand how that works before you get started to make sure that it works right for you. So let's look at this. Generate a friendly and professional response to the potential customer named whatever me. I'm just going to say my name is Ray, who sent the message. Keep the response less than 50 words. Again, if you don't kind of scale this, ChatGPT can give a freaking multiple 100-word response and not really look authentic. I mean, nobody's going to be texting 300 words, and you're going to see what I mean on this, and respond back to a customer. You want to keep them short and sweet. So that's what we do here. And then I put in here the goal of the conversation is to get them to book a strategy call at, and I put the link for the strategy call in here to discuss their needs. So again, I'm setting context. What is it, what our company is, what it does, how I want them to reply, the tone I want them to reply, how long the message should be, and even the goal is to get them to book a strategy call and to discuss their needs, because most of the time they're going to be talking about, how much does it cost for this, how long does it take for this is what I want to have done, and how is that going to work. You really can't do that over text. You're going to have to get them to book a strategy call to at least discuss something with your salespeople. Now, here, once you do this to discuss their needs, you're going to drop in this little thing that says message.body. That will be the body of the SMS message. So it's going to take the message that the person sends you, drop it into this for ChatGPT, and then they're going to use that in order to respond to the message. So now that we've done that and we've kind of gone over that, this could be a little bit longer. I mean, there are definitely ways to make the prompt shorter if you want to. I'm just trying to give you a little bit more extra, if that makes sense, to make it better for you to customize your message even further. Because again, once you create the prompt, you can create it over and over again. So here, what we're going to do is just save this action. Now, last but not least, once ChatGPT goes out and you're telling it what to do, how to respond, and sending it the message, you're going to get a response back from that, an SMS message. You're just going to go here, and I'm going to show you where this is at here. I'm going to delete this. So in custom messages, you have this. Anytime you use ChatGPT action items, you're going to get this custom value ChatGPT list right here, and then you're going to see the name of the ChatGPT. Keep in mind, you could be using multiple ChatGPT messages in your workflow. So if you have 3 of them, you're going to have, number 1 is going to be for the first bot, 2 is going to be for ChatGPT number 2. So you can have multiple replies from different ChatGPT action items in your workflow. And we're going to look at that when I show you the multi-bot a little bit later on here. So right now I'm just going to click response. So it's going to say, take the response to this right here and dump it. And now we're going to be able to see what we're dealing with. So that is how you build. Again, look at this. 1, 2, 3. That's like 4 actions. And once you build the prompt, steal my prompt. I don't care. At least work with it and then fine tune it, get rid of some other stuff. Now, I will let you know here in the beginning, I'm going to show you the conversations flow of how this works. I did have in here a couple of different things. So in here, I put the name is, user.name. My company name is Digi Global Agency. My phone number is phone number. My website is, here's my website. Now, I did that initially because I wanted ChatGPT to have more information about our company so they can mix and match different information. If it wanted to send the phone number back, it could. If it wanted to give the response to our website, it could. And of course, wanted to book a strategy call here. So that was one thing I did, and I'll show you how that response looks like in the conversations area in just a minute. But I also sat back here and I changed this a bit, where this area where it says, keep the response less than 50 words. I was kind of going back and forth with it. I told ChatGPT, keep the response short and to the point. Now, when I did that, it didn't really listen to that. So I had to take that out, and I'll show you kind of how the areas where we were using that in the conversations. Then I put keep the response less than 150 words. Still, it was too much. And then finally, I went back and just said, keep the response less than 50 words. You can do less than that if you want to. But again, ChatGPT will just chat. It will be very chatty, and you want to keep the messages short and sweet to your customers. You don't want to send them 4 paragraphs of information to read, because then they're going to know it. This is an automated system and not just a friendly bot here. So now that we know that here, let's hop in the conversations area. Notice that this is a conversation with me. This is a contact that I have created for myself with the first name and last name, just so that for the purpose of this, so we can see and customize the response from ChatGPT. So now I'm going to come back up in here, and where do I stop here? Okay, so where do I want to begin here? All right, so let's just look at here for this. I'm going to blow this up a bit here if I can. So my message says, I want to talk to somebody about getting a new website designed for my business. Can someone help me? Okay, that would be something that a customer could potentially text you directly. And then what did ChatGPT say? I'm going to blow this up. Hi, Ray. Again, Ray, because it used the first name in there that we told it. Thank you for reaching out to Digi Global Agency because it has our company name. It can customize it, which is good. We would be more than happy to assist you in designing a website. And notice this was before I put a cap on how many words to respond, and I also had that company's phone number and website in there as well. Now, when it did that, it provided a very good response back here. If you could take a look, you can easily schedule a strategy call and visiting our website at here. It gave them the strategy call website. And then notice down here, this is before it says your name. This is before I started using your name. I didn't have my name is in the beginning of the prompt. I just simply had my company's name is this. So it didn't have a name to associate with this. So here it says it just put your name. It didn't have it, but it did try to build like a little email signature. It had the company, the phone, and the website. So it, ChatGPT tried to build a professional type of reply with that, and to give it your company's information. So that's something that it did try to do, which I thought was pretty cool. Now, I did go back and change a few things here. This is where I changed some information here, and I didn't put in my full name. I just put in, my name is user.firstname. So I just use the first name of here. So I use the same prompt. I like to get a new website designed. Basically, it spit out pretty much the identical information, except down here at the bottom, notice instead of your name, it now puts John. So that was getting better. It didn't have your name on there. So this is what I mean by practice, practice, practice. You'll need to make sure that this fine-tune and this works right before you use it. So John, I don't like that. I'd much rather have the full name under there, not just John. The way it looks, this is like an email signature kind of. So you might as well be professional, have the full name on here. So I went back and again, put in the same thing. I wanted to get a similar response back, so I put in the exact same prompt for me. Now I changed the down here, I changed it from user.firstname to user.name, which gives me the full name of John.Smith. So if this is the kind of prompt that you're looking for here, this full prompt where it gives you the full response back. Notice that these are four paragraphs, and then best regards. So this is a pretty good amount to send back to a customer. If you like this kind of stuff, then keep it. Not a problem. This is what you want to do, then perfect. But if this is too much, if you want to keep it more to the point and, shorten it a bit, then, because again, if you're texting, this could cost you a little bit more money in texting. This is, multiple characters, and it's going to have to send multiple message blocks on this. So it could increase your SMS message cost by doing this. It's one other thing to keep in mind, because you do pay, extra, or your client does, for SMS messages. And if these messages are really long, it could, in a sense, double their SMS cost each month. That's just something to think about. So now that I had that prompt down, I wanted to sit back and throw at something else. So what I did is I said, can you tell me how much a typical website would cost? That might be something that somebody typically would ask. So here again, I look at ChatGPT, and what it did is it pretty much spit out very similar response than last time. Still the whole thank you for reaching out to Digital Global Agency, which again, at this point, I don't think is necessary since we've already been in the conversation. So, but again, I haven't limited how much that I've told ChatGPT to say. But it did come back with another response to provide you with an accurate cost for an estimate website. We would need to gather some more details about your specific pricing, and our pricing is tailored, and it gives a very good response to that. I have to admit that, we'd love to schedule a strategy call. Here it is. Excuse me, guys. So here is what it looks like. And again, long message reply here. So this is where I cut it down and said, type it again. How much would a website typically cost? This is where I said, cut it down into like 150 words. Not bad. Thank you for reaching out. Here's a strategy call. And this is the message that we got. Getting better. It's about half of what we were getting before. So here, again, we're getting better. So now I want to change the prompt to see what kind of reply I would get again. Okay, I get it. I will schedule a call. Thank you. And here's the response that you get. Thank you for reaching out. Again, not crazy about that whole thing. To me, it's still too long, and it still has this formal thing at the bottom, and I wasn't quite digging that, so I wanted to kind of change that. So to get rid of that, I basically just took out the phone number and the website information inside of the top of the page and just said my website, my company's name is DigiGlobal Agency, and I just took out the phone number and the email address. I'm sorry, the phone number and the website, so that ChatGPT wouldn't have it, so it couldn't do that any longer. So now that I did that, I went back to just type in, can you tell me how much a typical website would cost? And then here it came back and gave me this response. Notice at the bottom is different. It didn't put the phone number in the website because I had removed that from ChatGPT, so it doesn't know. But the problem is it's still long. It's still just, ChatGPT, even though I put in here for this prompt, I did put in, please make the response short and to the point. Well, short and to the point obviously wasn't getting through to ChatGPT on this because we're chewing up a lot of money, cost. First of all, in ChatGPT, because the words you get back from ChatGPT are what costs more money, and to send that SMS is going to cost you more money. So can you see from your client's perspective, this could be a cost if you continue to use it this way. So here I went back and eventually changed it from 150 words, reply back with 150 words to just say limit it to just 50 words. So here I get the response back. Thank you, Ray, for reaching out to DigiGlobal Agency. We'd love to discuss our needs. Please book a call. Look forward to speaking with you. Now, this is a little bit more personal, to the point, short and sweet. So this right here is kind of where I was just talking about how you fine tune the prompt, keep changing it, give it a reply, see the response, and how all that works. So this is much better. So now that I finally got all this done, this is where we're at with the final automation text and how the prompt is in the very end here. This prompt that I've already, that I've shown you. This is what the response we get, and I just made sure I put in these words here. Keep the response less than 50 words. Basically that's my way of saying, please make it short and sweet. We don't need a book. We don't need an essay or something here to respond back to a customer. So in a sense, this is the basics of how to set up a bot, how to go back and test it, to get the response back, and so forth. So go ahead and get this done. This is something that can be quickly and easily done if you want to test it. And I would definitely test it on one channel first. I'm going to show you the multibot here in just a second. I know I've been talking about it. I will show it to you. But before you go through and start allowing ChatGPT to access all of the information across all channels, you might want to make sure it's good and solid working first on one channel, then expand it to 2, then 3, then 4, before you just copy paste, and then everybody is getting these crazy messages on every way that Highlevel can communicate with the client. So that right there is another point to think about. So now they've done that, I now want to show you this ChatGPT multibot. Now the multibot is something that you can create. Let me show it to you here. It does look pretty, lots of colors in it. But what it is, it just has multiple triggers. So before, we had one trigger and it was just SMS. Now, there are multiple different channels by which people can communicate through Highlevel. Of course, if the integrations are there and everything is turned on. So one of them is a phone call. You got missed call text back. Chat widget, SMS, Facebook Messenger, Google My Business Message, and Instagram DM. So rather than creating, in this case, 6 different workflows that are covering each one of these channels, it's just as easy. You see, this is not very hard to do. I'm going to walk you through this. You basically just create a customer reply for each one of the reply channels. That's it. And you put that as a trigger. So you've got 6 different triggers. Anytime in this workflow somebody wants to communicate on any channel, this sucker is going to fire and it's going to route it to the appropriate place in the workflow and then respond back on the appropriate channel. Now, the trick to having this is using an if statement. There is an if logic condition in here, and the if logic condition is what's going to break out how somebody's coming into the workflow, meaning what trigger did they use to get into the workflow, and then we're going to utilize that trigger to segment each one of those people so that we can reply back on the appropriate channel. So what I mean by this is, let's just take Facebook. If we were replying through Facebook, if they were coming in through Facebook Messenger, we couldn't reply to them on SMS because it's a different channel. If they come in on Facebook Messenger, we want to reply back on Facebook Messenger. That just makes sense, right? Well, in order to do that, we have to know what channel they're coming in from in order to determine how to respond back to them. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, here we're going to use an if condition. And if we do, let me show you this. I'm sorry, I kind of hopped into this. But if you just come up here and type in if, this is going to be an if else. That's all this is. We're going to drop an if else statement in here. I'm going to close this because I don't want to do it. But here are the conditions that you can build. And we're going to walk through these conditions here real quick. Now, why did I combine phone call, SMS, or chat widget? Why would I do that? Simple. Because all three of these triggers all utilize SMS protocols. So all of them, whether it be a phone call, because the missed call text back is going to start an SMS text conversation. If they come across SMS, you're going to reply with SMS. The chat widget, when it comes across the chat widget's going to reply back with SMS. So we don't need to create three separate places for this. All of them communicate with SMS. So we're just going to combine all of these together, and then we're going to reply back with the same SMS message. Now, how do we do that? So here, when we look underneath this, we're going to choose the workflow trigger. This is one of my favorite ones to use inside of workflows because it's very easy to do when you have multiple triggers, because you can determine what trigger that you want to focus on, like how to isolate that person. So if the workflow trigger is missed phone call, okay? And again, here's all the triggers that we've got. So the missed phone call is just the phone call that was missed and the missed call text back. So if it's that one and we have an or, we want to use or, not and on here, because the and logic is wrong. We can't have missed phone call and SMS at the same time. So it has to be one or the other. So make sure you get that right, otherwise this won't work. So missed call, or we do workflow triggers SMS. And forgive me, let me blow this up a bit here. Or the workflow trigger is chat widget. So all of those are going to go into one, and then we're going to use the ChatGPT to respond back with SMS, very simply, like the same one that we saw in the ChatGPT simple workflow before. Now, if it comes across Facebook Messenger, we're going to have that branch. Workflow triggers Facebook Messenger. We have Google My Business. You're starting to see a pattern here, right? Workflow triggers Google My Business, and then Instagram, we've got over to Instagram. So now that we understand the triggers, now we see we've got all of these nice little blue things that pop up here, make it very easy for us to isolate everybody that's coming across multiple different channels. Now we've got these chat GPT bots. Now notice that these bots are number 1, number 3, number 4, number 5. So they're numbered because each number has a different response that comes across with it. So you'll need to make sure that you configure those responses. Now, I'm not going to go over the ChatGPT response. We've already did that in the prompt. You just have a prompt and so forth. But inside of the, I'm going to use this SMS message here because I want to show you the difference between how you handle multiple ChatGPT action items in one workflow. So inside of here, notice that we've got ChatGPT 1.response. No different than the last workflow that we saw. However, this is because this is the first ChatGPT that was placed in the workflow. Now, if we click here for custom values and we go to ChatGPT, notice that we've got ChatGPT 1 bot response. Why do we only have one? Because inside of this workflow here, we only have one ChatGPT bot in this branch. So it's only going to show us one. There's only one possible bot that, ChatGPT action item that it can access this SMS. So now what I want to show you is if we click over here to the messenger, let's just say they came across and went through Facebook here. They would go to the ChatGPT. The response would be the same. You'd have the same response, no difference whatsoever in there. But now you need to isolate that as Facebook, because now instead of sending an SMS, you're going to reply back using the messenger channel. So here, I want to make sure that you see this is ChatGPT 3 response. Now, why is it 3? Because this is the bot that's above it. So keep in mind, when you see, you only have access to this one. And like Google My Business, you see this is number 4, and then this one is number 5. So right now, you would just simply build this out, use this right here. I'm going to see if I can move over here just to kind of give you guys the sake of both sides. So you see, this is not hard to do. You're just building triggers. You're building an if condition. On this condition, you're breaking everything out by the workflow trigger. is each one of them, and then each one of these you're putting now just a ChatGPT with the right prompt, and then you're giving this SMS. So you can see very quickly and easily how you can build this out and how you can build a multifunctional bot very quickly and easily, and then give this to your client, sell this to your client, whatever you want to do. But you do need to make sure that you understand this. If you're using ChatGPT with these technologies, specifically with SMS, there's no cost with Facebook Messenger or with Google My Business or Instagram, because those messages go across for free. But with SMS is going to be a cost, and with ChatGPT, replies are going to be a cost. So you want to make sure that the words you get are as minimal as possible to keep the cost down for your clients. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please leave me a comment below and just let me know if it answered questions for you, if it helped you. If you have additional questions, I would be happy to sit back and reply to you if I didn't get into it or if I missed something here in the workflows. But as always, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please hook a brother up. Click subscribe. I'm looking to grow this channel, and you really are doing me a favor by doing so. Please comment. You know YouTube loves it when you guys like the videos. Comment and then click on the bell notification to make sure that you get access to all the videos that we publish. We try to publish a couple times a week. Again, I am a Highlevel affiliate. If you're looking to sign up for Highlevel, please use my affiliate link below. You really are doing me a service by doing that, and I appreciate you, and I have a lot of bonuses. We do one-on-one coaching strategy calls to get you guys set up. I really try to give it all to those people that sign up as my affiliates. And again, I want to thank you so much for watching the video, and have a great day. Hey, if you're interested in learning more about Highlevel, click on the link below regarding my free Highlevel course. It goes over everything that you need to do to get your account created, get it set up, and get it going in about 2 days. I also, if you sign up with Highlevel with me, I do offer a snapshot as well as a client onboarding course that can be used by your client or even used to train your own team to do client onboarding. I want to thank you so much again, and have a great day.